There you go.
Uh-oh, you know what that sound means. It means it's lunch talk time.
Welcome to the all-new Lunch Talk Show with Mike and Star Carter.
This show will discuss relationship, family, celebrity news, and much, much more.
So stay tuned, because you never know what the Lunch Talk crew is serving up every Friday. What's going on, Lunch Talk family? How you doing today, Mr. Carter?
What's up, Lunch Talk family? How's everybody doing out there? Oh, I'm doing great, honey. Doing great. Another
Doing
wonderful
great.
day. Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thank you again for tuning in to Lunch Talk with Mike and Star. We love you all so much. And don't forget to subscribe on whatever platform that you're listening to our show on, because we appreciate all the love. All the love.
All the love from each and every one of you guys. Hey, we just tell you, keep listening, guys. Keep listening.
So we're in hot June.
Yeah, hot. I mean, really hot too, boy. Them last few days, boy, whoo, smokers.
I don't know where you at in this beautiful world, but we are in South Carolina. For our new listeners that don't know who Lunch Talk with the Carters is, that was our original show, but now we're Lunch Talk with Mike and Star.
Oh, yeah, had to change that a little bit.
I had to change a little bit. But we are in South Carolina. And South Carolina is hot.
Yeah, it's really hot. I'm like in the 90s, guys. Hot. It's hot. It's hot.
Yeah.
And it's humid. It is.
Yeah. And I feel like it was like that last month. So we already done had a full month of 90-degree weather. And it hadn't rained in about 3 weeks. And so I'm like, when we gonna get a break?
I know, right? It don't seem like we're going to get none, but hopefully we will. Hopefully get some rain or something to cool this thing down.
Lord, I hope so. But anyway, guys, so what you got for us today, babe? You got any interesting tidbit that you're going to spring on me right here on the show? And I want to let y'all guys know, when we do these tidbits, I don't know what my husband is going to talk about. That's the kicker. Because he wants my honest response right here on the air. So some things may be a little risque. You know, we're going to keep it clean. Some things are going to be a little risque, because I know my husband. I know he's a risque type, you know, so I know
it's
him.
All about the research. It's all about the research.
Okay, it's research. But anyway, I just want you guys to know that these is my honest opinion on my husband's tidbit segment here on the show. So this is kind of like our appetizer.
Yeah, before we get into the main dish.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so what you got, babe?
Okay, well, today, you know, it's going to be kind of calm today. It's just a few interesting facts. To all my listeners out there, to all our listeners, on the previous shows, I know a lot, you know, our earlier shows, our very earlier shows, you know, you may think that I'm against like the women lib movement and stuff like that. I mean, you know,
You
really,
think?
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. This is for all our older listeners.
No
you know?
empowerment.
Exactly. You know, our listeners might be saying, "Oh, he's always bashing the female power and all of this."
Yeah,
No, I don't. No. It's not like that. It's not like that. I told you the problem I have with that is what I call the women libs type thing. You know, I know it's an old saying, guys, but that's what I call it. And when those women take it so far as that, you know, those type of women, I don't need a man for nothing. I don't need a man. Blah. That's what I'm talking about. That type of stuff right there is what
That
I
bakes
hate.
your cookie.
Yeah, that irks me because you know the men don't need the women either, but the women live. They bakes me. But anyway, guys. For our older listeners, you might think I got a problem with the women lives today. So my interesting tidbit is giving props to the ladies today.
Okay.
I want to give some props to the ladies. You know, you may look at your mom or your sister or whatever as a homemaker. You know what I mean? Taking care of the family type stuff. Looking at her as mom. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But guys, you know, giving a shout out to the ladies. You know, the ladies have contributed a lot more than, you know, society gives them credit for.
Just being homemakers.
Yeah, just, you know, that's what they get the image for just being homemakers, you know, moms, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, that perception is changing a lot now.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got Oprah, you got these big powerhouse.
Oh, yeah. You
That's
got
doing
women
it
doing
all.
everything.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
doing
yes,
it all. I mean, you got parents out there like Beyonce got 3 kids and still doing Coachellas and all that type of stuff. I mean, come on. So we do it. We doing it. We doing it.
Oh, yeah. Y'all doing it, ladies. I'll give y'all credit now. But this is on my interesting tidbits for the day. It's inventions of the world that you may not know was done by females.
I'm interested to know. Go on and kick it.
Okay. The first thing is computer software.
Okay.
Computer software was actually invented by Grace Hopper.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Computer software.
Computer software.
Computer software.
No,
Yes.
I think I had heard that somewhere
Yes.
or read it somewhere before about that one. But yeah, that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
I want to know what year it might have been done in.
No, I don't know. I don't know the actual year, but
Yeah.
I have to research that a little bit. But
Yeah.
okay, that's a good idea. I can say
Mhm.
find out what
Because
actual
computers
year.
have been around
Yes. Yes.
since they started with the first concepts in the 70s, and then the 80s. But they had those really they still got those really big computers.
Mm-hmm.
But they had the personal computer,
Yes.
the PCs when we was in school, and they had just the Apples, the IBMs,
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. I would like to know when she actually came up with
Okay,
it. That'd be really cool.
I have to do a little more research on that. And the next one, guys, is stem cell isolation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how that is technically,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it has something to do with the isolation of the DNA or whatever, stem cells. That's what
Mhm.
I'm taking it as. And she was one of the first to actually break it down in the isolation type thing.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm taking it as. But
Yeah.
the stem cell isolation, that was the
Okay.
first female that actually came up with that concept.
So if any
Okay.
of our science brainiacs, if y'all actually know what that means, please hit us up.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay. And the next one is the home security system.
Oh, I can see that happening.
I can see that too.
I can see that happening because she probably was black, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I
You
know, right? But no, babe, this next one now, that'll put you on the mind of a sister now.
Because
Guess what?
I'm going to tell you what my grandma used to do, just real quick. My grandma used to always, of course, I told you I'm from Baltimore, so of course we had to be a little crafty. Used to have chimes, all kind of stuff. So you come in the house, you can hear everything. It's like an alarm before alarms. You know what I'm saying? In the 80s. So especially at night, you might step over pots and all kind of stuff. So you had a certain time that you had to be in the house in order for you not to get messed up, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I can see that. But like I was saying, the next one is more of a sister type thing that I can see that, like you say, I hate to say it, but she had to be black to invent this. And that is, guys, caller ID.
Caller ID.
I can see that
I can
as
see
being
that.
a sister.
And that's
Because you
so,
want to
and
know
that's
who
really
never
racist.
calling your
Yeah,
house.
that's really racist too, because that's a stereotype. She probably trying to see, is a bill collector or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I can see that
That's
one.
terrible.
And this last one, guys, this is going to blow your mind too, because this one right here had changed the game, really in safety. The material Kevlar.
What is that?
The Kevlar vest that police wear, bulletproof.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know
Kevlar.
that's what they call it.
Yeah, Kevlar. A young lady actually invented the recipe to create Kevlar. That is freaking awesome.
The bullet, the stuff that's
Inside
inside
the bulletproof vest.
to make it bulletproof.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then
That
that's
was-
real science.
Yeah, now that was awesome.
Okay, I got you. I'm thinking about the vest itself. I'm not thinking about what's in the vest.
Yeah,
So that's
the
what-
actual material
that's
that in the vest. Yeah,
that makes it bulletproof.
Yes, she created that. Yes,
And they made him into Superman.
I told you, boy, that was an interesting word right there
What's
to blow
the
your mind.
name? Do you have the name of the lady that invented the alarm system and and who's the name of the lady that made the home security system? What's her name?
Let me see. Okay, right here, Maria Van
Britton Brown.
Britton Brown. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So and who did the Kevlar that you was talking about?
Kevlar.
The Stephanie
I can't pronounce her last name.
Qualolek.
Yeah.
KWOLEK. So
Yeah, I don't. You can't pronounce
she's
it.
probably
Yeah.
European. If I had to guess.
Exactly. And the caller ID is Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson.
Well, you
So
know
she's-
that's black. That ain't sound like that's my mama name. My mama name is Shirley Ann. Not Jackson, but Shirley Ann. You know that's a black
Exactly.
woman.
Yeah, it
That's a
gotta
black
be.
woman.
We're sorry, guys. We're
That
trying to
name is
profile.
black. Come on now.
Just sounds like she's
That's
a
my
black-
mama name.
Yeah, she just sound like
If
she's
you
black.
got an Ann, all my Anns out there, my
Yeah.
sister-in-law got a
Shirley
is a Ann.
Ann and then Jackson.
So shout out to my sister-in-law. She's an Ann.
Yeah. Doctor, that is. Doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah. Shirley
So she's
Ann
a smart
Jackson.
caller ID inventor. She's
Yes.
a doctor.
Caller ID
She's
and
a
call
doctor
waiting.
of something. That don't mean she's a doctor of medicine, but she's
Exactly.
a doctor of something. Okay.
But yeah,
so
that was a little extra tidbits right there, guys. Giving shouts out to the ladies. I'm not going to always bash y'all.
Thank you so much,
So,
babe.
you know, just give
I'll
ladies
you
a little
kiss
shout
right there
out.
now.
Give them a shout out.
You're
Yeah.
so sweet. You're so sweet. I appreciate that. That's big for Mr. Carter, y'all. I'm telling you, that's really big. So, I know you guys, I got a couple of things that I saw. One of my favorite artists of all time, Jay-Z, has now entered the billionaire status, honey. I don't know if y'all saw
Jay-Z.
that.
Yeah.
I saw it on Instagram the other day. Essence had posted it. So if y'all on Instagram, y'all can see the picture of him with smiling big. And you should smile big because now you're in the Billionaires Club.
In the Billionaires Club, yes.
Forbes has...
I'll be smiling too.
Right. Forbes have reported it because, you know, Forbes keeps up with everybody's money that got money.
Oh, yeah.
The top 1%ers, that's what they call them. So Forbes keeps up with everybody's money that got money. And according to Forbes, he is now billionaire status. And that is from everything that Mr. Carter does. You know, he's the other Mr. Carter. Jay-Z, because he not only does music, we know him from music, but he also has Rocawear, his clothing line.
Don't forget the liquor.
And he got his liquor. And he's also into arts. He's also into arts as far as he is a art connoisseur. He loves to buy art. So if he goes, he likes to buy paintings and that's worth millions of dollars. And then because even in one of his songs, he bought a painting for $1 million and then it was worth $2 million the next year. So he had got his $1 million back. And so he's very into art, like buying art. So kind of like your hobby of getting expensive swords.
I know, right? Yeah, guys, I'm a sword collector. I love swords.
He collects art as well.
Cool. Okay.
And then he also have his streaming company, Tidal. So Tidal is his streaming company, you know, the equivalent to Spotify and all those other different streaming systems, Apple Music, you know, Google Play, all those different things. Okay. So he's a part of that as well, Pandora. So he is a billionaire. So that means his wife is too.
Oh, yeah. That's it. We know who got the money.
We know who got the money.
Man.
Well, they had already told you that when Solange and him had the little riff in the elevator, his wife came back with a song that a whole lot of SHIT goes down when there's $1 billion on the elevator. So that just let you know she was already speaking it into existence if they didn't already have it. But there was $1 billion on the elevator and she said that in her song. So, anyway, that was something to share if y'all didn't know. I just feel like that's a good thing because that just lets you know, all of our people that are minorities that are listening to the show, that we can also be now we got a black billionaire that's a woman, Oprah Winfrey, and now we got a black billionaire that we know. You know, we know Jay-Z's music. And so we can say that now we got a black billionaire man that we know. Now, I'm not saying that there ain't already other black people that are rich. There are a lot of rich Africans.
Yeah, a bunch of them.
There's a ton of rich Africans out there. And so I'm not saying that we only got those 2 black people that's filthy rich. Nah, there's a plenty of them out there, but we don't know them. Because that's how low key they are with they chicks. You know what I'm saying? We don't know them. Okay. So we talking about people that we have heard of, we've seen in the media, we've seen, you know, somewhere. You might have went to one of his concerts. You might even went to Oprah's show when she used to have one. Who knows? Either way, it's people that we can relate to. All right. So my next one is my show, Married at First Sight.
Oh my goodness, that's the craziest show in the world. I'm telling you, I just don't see how that works. But anyway,
Married at First Sight is coming back for their 9th season. So that's how popular this is, baby.
Wow, this is crazy.
They are coming back for their 9th season on June the 12th. You can catch it at 9 p.m. And what Married at First Sight is, for all you guys that have not ever heard of this show before, Married at First Sight comes on Lifetime, and it is about 4 couples that are single people. And what they do is they get experts based on their questionnaire of what they like and dislike and all this type of stuff, and what their occupation is, what kind of money they make. All this type of factors goes into it, and they pair them with supposed to be, by science, the perfect match. And they get these people and they meet the day they get married.
The craziest stuff I told you in the world.
They family is there. Everybody's dressed to the T. They pay for the weddings for them. You know, the show pays for the weddings. They have their tux, their dresses. I mean, it's the whole thing. You can't ask for more. So if you want a lavish, nice wedding, they even send them on the honeymoon. So it's everything laid out for them. They fly their family in to wherever they got to go to do this thing. You know, so I mean, you got couples that don't even live in the same city. So they pairing you up with who is best no matter where they at.
That's the craziest stuff. Like I say, man, and you going through all of that now, all of that wonderful stuff, and you standing on the altar for the first time meeting your wife or your husband.
Right.
The craziest thing in the world,
it's
guys.
One of my favorite shows. I binge it on Hulu, so I'm hoping that this new season, of course, probably won't be on Hulu because usually Hulu don't put some of Lifetime's things on until the whole season is ended because I like to binge and just watch them all at one time. That's my thing. But it's coming on June the 12th, 9 p.m. on Lifetime Network if y'all want to check it out for the first time. It will blow your mind. It's legit crazy. They have, after they get married, they have 8 weeks to decide whether they want to stay married or if they want to get a divorce. So that's how it works. And in that 8 weeks, the first week after they get back from their honeymoon, they had to decide their living arrangements. I mean, it's crazy. It's really crazy because now you got to cohabit with a stranger.
Yes. Seeing your wife for the first time, husband at the first time.
And some of them consummate their marriage on the first night. Some of them don't. It's really a fun show. I like it. So that's why I want to let you guys know. Check it out, June the 12th. So that's all I had.
Okay.
Billionaires and people get married at first sight.
Okay, cool. And now on for the main dish.
On the main dish, guys, when we come back, we're going to talk about thoughts that can affect your future relationships for the single people, as well as your current relationship. If you're already in a relationship, we're going to talk about how thoughts can either make or break them, basically.
All right.
We'll be back. We're going to take a real quick commercial break. I can't talk. Break. All right, guys. So now we are back from that quick commercial break. You might have to start talking. I can't get my words out my mouth today. Gee, please.
Okay.
Might because I talk all day at work.
And then got to come here and talk on the mic again. Yeah, that's crazy. Yep.
But so we're gonna talk about thoughts and how it can affect your future and current relationship. So when you know how Lunch Talk does. You know how we do. We usually talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of relationships. And this topic right here, we kind of touched on it a little bit in the Reconnect series for all our veteran listeners that's been with us, like we call it, our day ones. Yep. From when Lunch Talk, the ride or dies from when Lunch Talk first started. So we talked about this in the Reconnect series last April. So if y'all want to go back to that, we had like 6 shows dedicated to the Reconnect series. It started in April of 2018. So y'all can always go back in the shows and listen to it if you want to get caught up with it. But we talked about it in part 2, and it was called How Do You See Your Mate? So this is kind of like a spinoff from that, but just maybe a little bit deeper. Because in our Reconnect series, like we said, in order to reconnect, you have to disconnect. So we was trying to get to ways that people disconnect in their relationship. So that what made us talk about it. But we just want to revisit this topic because we want you to to see it just a little bit deeper. Does that make sense, babe?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah,
good way of putting it.
So we probably just scratched on the surface, and some of the things that we mentioned in that show was that a part of seeing your mate is the thoughts that you create around your mate. Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the thoughts you see of your mate is your perception. It's your perception of them. So my babe pointed out in that previous show that some men perceive their wives as being nags, as some women perceive their husbands as being lazy, because if women doing all the thing, maybe that's the reason why they nag it. So we talked about that. So now we just want to tap on some principles that how it is that you could get to that point that you seeing somebody in a negative connotation instead of how they really are, but how you have experienced them. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So did you want to kick it off, or how you want to do it, babe?
No. Okay. Well, I can get it started then. How your thoughts affect your relationship. First off, we've always said, you've heard us say it a million times, thoughts become reality. Okay, just look around at everything today, from airplanes to cars. That was first a thought and it became reality. That's hold true in every aspect because, like my wife always say, that is the law. It is negative or positive, you create it. Mm-hmm. So how do those thoughts affect your relationship? That is what basically what we're asking today. The first one I would say, again, I'm gonna have to start off by saying this and just elaborate a little bit, is perception. Again, perception, guys, is the key to a good or a bad relationship. I know I've said it before, but I have to start off by saying that again. Your thoughts affect your relationship. If how you perceive your mate, perception, is always negative, as we always said, your outcome is going to be negative. It's going to be negative because you're putting it in the atmosphere, and the energy that you're putting out is the energy that you're going to receive. Mm-hmm. Okay. So if that's what you're putting out, that's what you're going to get back. If you're seeing your mate as being anything but positive and loving, that's what you're going to perceive. Mm-hmm. The best scenario, the best thing I can say, I didn't mean to say scenario, but the best thing I can say how to actually get that under control is doing the exercise we've always said. For every negative thought you have, just be mindful and, correct that with a positive thought. Mm-hmm. Something beautiful, something wonderful. Like we said, a memory that you shared or whatever the case may be. Whatever it takes to get that negative thought out of your relationship. Because your thoughts of negativity is going to make that relationship negative. Mm-hmm. It really is. Perception. That's why I always start off with perception.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you, my love. So to elaborate on what he was saying, energy flows where attention goes. That is a universal law. So when he was talking about the universal laws, when he was talking about the law, the universal law says that energy flows where attention goes. And another universal law is you attract who you are, not what you want.
Yeah, like the old saying, birds of a feather flock together.
Right.
The old saying, yeah.
You attract who you are, not what you want. And another one is you have the right to control your experience. I posted on my Instagram. If y'all want to follow me on Instagram, Write It Girl with GURL. I put, don't let life just happen to you. Be intentional about every experience. So you have the right to allow people into your experience. And with that being said, based on who you are, you're going to attract those people that's either going to be a part of your experience or not a part of your experience. It just depends on who you are. So what I mean by that, okay, is it's impossible. Let me put this right out here real quick. And y'all probably going to be mad and you might cuss me out, but you can email me at lunchtalkshow@gmail.com if you like to. Okay. Cause I'm about to be really in your face about this one. So, but it's all love. It's all love. Okay. So it's impossible for a loving person, a true loving being, to attract a negative being to them in a relationship. Now, I'm not saying, oh, I'm a good person. I'm talking about in the core of you, every fiber of your being. You attract who you really are, not who you pretending to be when you're at work. Because Mike always say I put my white girl voice on when I'm at work when I answer the phone. Knowing I don't talk like that at the house. I'm talking about, because you know, we have a professional us. We have a ratchet us. You know what I'm saying? We all play the part. So who you are at the core of your being, that's who you're going to attract. Not who you are when you go outside, but who you are when you're walking around with your hair rollers in, you cussing everybody out, you smoke a cigarette, who you really are. That's who I'm talking about. That's who you're going to attract, because that is the core you. So if the core you is nasty, hateful as hell, always talking smack about everything, ain't nothing ever good in your life, it's always woe is me, you have a victim attitude, and you allow it to continue, you're going to attract those things. That's a universal law. You can look it up.
Yes.
You are who you attract. So if you attract a person that has a nasty attitude, that has and I'm gonna be in face with people that are cheaters. Cheaters, you attract cheaters. They may not cheat in the same way that you cheat, but you're gonna attract who you are. So if you're a cheater, you're gonna attract a cheater. If you're a beater, you're gonna attract a beater. That's why they always call it the so-called Bunny and Clydes. And how they say that people, you know how you be so compatible, they call them twin flames. That's because 90% of the time, you're going to attract who you are. Not who you pretend to be, but who you are. So you got to look at it. When people are doing you a certain kind of way, have you thought it up? Or is that really you? Have you thought it up? Because here's the thing. This is a prime example, guys. This is a prime example. If you have been a victim from past experiences of people cheating on you, right? You've never cheated on anybody else. So in the core of you, you're not a cheater. But you have always been cheated on, right? So because of your past experience, you don't think that there's any good men or good women out there because you've been cheated on so many times that you don't have any faith in your mate. Whether they gave you a reason to believe that or not, because of your past experience with other people, you have adopted that mentality that men are dogs, women are dogs, there's no good people out there. So because you got that type of energy in you, guess what? That's who you attract. And that's how you keep getting the same thing. Because in your mind, in the core of your mind, you always have that in the back of your mind that that's how people are. And even though the relationship may start out good at the beginning, it always ends up the same because of how you think about relationships.
How your thoughts affect your relationship. Boy, she went deep on y'all didn't she? Yeah, I hope she didn't lose y'all because she went deep then. She went really deep. Oh, guys, hold on. This for a ride. We could get very deep. We could get deeper. We could go deeper. But guys, she made valid points though. Thoughts, your thoughts. That's what we always saying. That's what we're saying. Your thoughts controlling your relationship, your outcome. Guys, if you put that negative energy out there, that's what you're going to get. If that's what you expect, the universe says, hey, your wish is my command. If that's what you expect, if that's what you expect, no men are good, no women are good, no good people are out there. If you expect for your mate to cheat on you, if you expect for your always getting bills in the mail, or you always thinking negative and you always getting negative. Think about it, guys. Think about what I just said. You always thinking negative and you always getting negative.
Like attract like.
See what I'm saying? It makes sense. Y'all said we can go deeper on y'all now because we giving y'all a way to answer our question yourselves. You said it plenty of times. I mean, I have, you have, everybody has. Man, everything bad always happened to me, and guess what? Everything bad always does happen to you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, guys? Mm-hmm. It works. It's a law. We can't break it. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean it's not real.
It's there.
It's there. And like I said, those are prime examples. Everybody have said it. Everybody's done it. And everybody experienced it. You know what I'm saying? You could go out there right now and just picture times you've said, especially when it comes to your tax money. You need your tax money and it's time for it. You'll go to the mailbox and be like, man, I bet you that darn check ain't in there.
And it ain't gonna be.
And guess what? It ain't in there, is it?
Mm-hmm.
No. But one day it's out of your mind. You're not thinking about it, positive or negative. And guess what? Boom, the check appears. It's crazy, guys. I'm telling you. Whatever you put out there, negative or positive, that's what we're saying. Your thoughts affecting your relationship. Negative, positive is up to you. It's in your hands, you know. And you guys might be saying, "Oh man, them Carters, they way out there." God, it's all about learning. It's about growth. It's about spiritual and emotional growth. That's what it's about. I mean, you could Google anything we're saying, the law of attraction. I mean, my wife has a billion different names and laws for it, but you know, because she's deep in it. You know, you don't have to take our word for it, guys. Google it. It's a real thing. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean, like I said, it's not there. It's the
like
universal
electricity.
laws. Yeah.
You might not understand how electricity works, but it's there. You know, that's just like our cell phones, right? Our cell phones are prime example of how we're able to communicate with people all the way across the world, just through an invisible signal. So that's what we are. We are signals. That's what we are. We walk around all day long, and depending on what we think about the most, we attract those things into our life. We're like a human magnet, basically. We attract those things into our life. I'm gonna give you an example. Have you ever thought about somebody and you be like, "Oh man, I hadn't talked to this person in a while. It would be so nice to talk to that person." And then all of a sudden, a day later or something, they call you, or you find them on Facebook, and all this time you had never seen them, but now all of a sudden they in your face. That's how me and Mike was, basically. That's what happened to me and Mike. I ain't seen Mike in like 10 years. Had not seen him. But as soon as his best friend that I was working with at the time, because I knew him for 20 years, me and this guy had a connection through Mike. And that was only through Mike. Because every time he saw me, he always asked me, had I talked to Mike? And I'm like, no. How many times I'm going to tell you? I ain't talked to Mike in like 10 years. Then the next thing I know, out of the blue, Mike's profile picture is popping up on my Facebook. Now, mind you, I've been on Facebook since 2008. He ain't never popped up there before. But he was not in my conscious awareness either. I wasn't thinking about him. So once somebody else brought him back into my awareness, into my experience, that's what I was talking about, experience. Then all of a sudden, he's everywhere. I'm hearing his name. People asking me about him that hadn't asked me about him, you know, and all of a sudden now he's in my conscious awareness. So I attract him back, so back that he's married to me sitting beside me.
That's some powerful stuff. Like I told you guys, hold on there. It's for a ride now. It's for a ride. But guys, it's the law. It's the truth. It is what it is. I mean, you know, hey, take it for what it's worth, believe it or not. Just because you don't believe it, that don't mean you're going to keep on doing the same thing, living the same way, keep attracting the same people, the same thing. Guys, let me give you even a more basic example of what my wife just said, you know. I'm gonna break it down basically, okay? I'm going to tell you how this attraction thing works, okay? Your mind, how your mind attract things. Buy a car, you have never noticed that car until you buy one. Now, when you buy that car, every time you ride down the road, you see a car just like yours. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Every time.
Now you attracting. Now it's in your conscious awareness.
That's what I said. I'm going to break it down a little more basic for you. Exactly. Awareness. You never seen that car. When I got my car, I never ever seen one of those cars on the road. Mm-hmm. And now I done seen them in like 5 different colors. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
All the time.
All the time. See
and them. Out of all those cars, you notice that car.
Exactly.
Because now it's in your conscious awareness. So that's why I'm saying what you think about the most is what you're going to attract to you. So that's the principle. Energy flows where attention goes. So wherever you have your most attention at, good or bad, you are attracting that to yourself because you are putting energy into it, because we are vibration. You know, people, you ever go into a room or something like that and the whole vibe change because one person comes in the room? Because we're all connected. We're nothing but balls of energy running around here. That's why we can call somebody's name and be like, oh man, that person's talking about me. And they probably are. They probably are if you ever call somebody and the old folks say, that person talking about me. And they probably are. Just like if you're talking about somebody else, they probably are feeling that because we're all energy. We're all energy. So when you put in energy into anything, whether it's negative or positive, you are inviting that experience. That's the law of allowing. You are inviting that experience into your being, whether you really want it or not. What you want, what you actually want, is what you want to concentrate on, not what you don't want. If you concentrate, if you're single, if you're concentrating on all the men that did you wrong, and all the women that did you wrong, guess what? You're going to keep getting men and women to do you wrong. What you need to do is change that mindset, that thought pattern, and be like, all men, all women are beautiful. They are loving. They are kind. You want to talk about what you want. And like I said, you attract who you are. So if you want love, you have to be love. That's the law of exchange. You cannot get back what you don't put out. So if you nasty, if you mean and hateful, guess what? You're not going to find love. Who wants to love a rattlesnake?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Okay, come on. Who wants to hug somebody that's attacking them? Who wants to love on somebody that's a butthole? I mean, come on, keep it real. So that's what I'm saying. So you attract who you are. So if you are nasty, that's what you're going to attract. If you are love, you're going to attract love. There's no way. I'm telling you, there is no way that you can show somebody love, and even if they don't receive it at first, eventually they will. You can't give somebody love, honey, and they constantly give you salt back. Because at that point, if they do, you are allowing that into your experience. Anything that goes on after that, if they're not giving you what you deserve as a human being that loves, then guess what? You are allowing that experience. So then you can't blame it on them anymore. You need to tear your victim card up. You got to tear your victim card up eventually, because people will only do what you allow them to do to you. You allow people to be in your experience. So they only can bring to you what you put up with, basically, and what you attract. So if you see this person as a no good cheating dog, guess what? They're going to be a no good cheating dog, because that's all you see them as being. That's in your mind. That's how you think of them.
Yep. Whether it's true or not, perception.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, if you put it in your mind is in control. Energies you putting out there is what you're going to receive. So whether it's true or not, that's what you're receiving. They can be going for probably 5 minutes, and you're going to put that in your mind that they're out there actually doing something, even though that's impossible in 5 minutes. But
there's people out there that
your
think
mind
that.
think that way. Yeah. Trust me, I've been there. I know. Yeah, those things happen, guys. It happen. Mm-hmm. So basically, guys, just think about it. The things we're saying, how your mind and how the energy you put out and the things you put out, you get back, and how thoughts become things. Okay, just think about it. If you put a positive twist on your relationship, how great it could be. It's just for a test. You don't have to believe it. Hey, just try it. Just do it and just see would your relationship be the same, or y'all still nagging at each other, y'all still at each other's throat, or whatever the case may be. Because maybe you guys are putting it out there so much and expecting it out of each other. That's what you're getting. Mm-hmm. So if you guys just took the time, just for a little test, hey, shoot, me and my wife, we test everything. Just see what it's going to do, how it's going to work.
Yeah, I'm experimenting. Person.
Exactly. So, hey, guys, if it could work for the betterment of your relationship, just give it a shot. Just give it a shot. That's all I'm asking.
And, and not just so much in relationships. If your relationship could be perfect, but how do you think about your finances? So if you're one of those people that always love to say the phrase, if it ain't one thing, it's another.
Or I'm always broke.
Yeah. Those type of phrases, you are speaking your experience into your life. It's even in the Bible. It's in Hosea. I think it's Hosea 4. No, that's knowledge. That's about knowledge in Hosea. But it says that life and death, that's it. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those that eat the fruit, that's what you're going to bear. So basically, if you every time a bill comes in the mail, or you expect the bill. That's why you don't even like checking the mailbox. You like Fred, put it back in the mailbox type person. That's what you're going to keep getting. We have control over more than what we think. Okay. And we victimize ourselves in so many ways, like I said, that we need to tear up that victim card, because it's all about choices too. It's all about choices. We choose who we want to have our experience with in relationships. We also choose a lot of the things that we should not choose. Like, for instance, say if you already don't make a lot of money on your job, right? And so you have your main things that you got to pay for. You have those main bills. But instead of you paying those main bills, you think in your mind, you rationalize in your mind that you could pay it later. This month right here, I got 5 weeks. So I'm not going to pay this light bill until the second week, because I'm just going to use this week's check right here and buy me some new shoes or something like that. Just something. And you don't control things around you, because like I said, some things are going to be out of your control, because you can't control everybody's experience. So say you get in a car wreck or something. Now you got to be out of work. Well, you had the money, but you threw the money away. So we don't save for rainy days. We don't do anything. So then when those things happen that's beyond our control, we set ourselves up, because the times that we had the extra money, we didn't save. So then when things happen, and things will happen, we're not ready for when things happen. But we'll blame it on something else, because we decided to not do the right thing. That's choice. That's free will. You have control over every experience that you have if you prepare for those experiences. Some things are out of your control, like a car wreck, getting sick. Some of those things are out of your control, but you might have to be out of work. But if you're not planning for those things that you can't control in the future, then guess what? You're planning to fail. You either planning to succeed or you're planning to fail if you fail to prepare, basically. So a lot of things we got to stop being the victim for, because we making poor choices. We want to blame it on everything. Oh, one thing is another. Oh, I can't never keep my money. Every time I get paid, I got to pay somebody else. You speaking all that into your existence when you're doing that, because you're telling the universe, hey, every time I get a check, I got to pay it to somebody. The universe is like, your wish is my command. Every time you get a check, no matter how big your check is, you can get a raise. It doesn't matter. If that's your mentality, you will never make enough money, because your mentality says, every time I get a check, I got to always pay somebody. So you could be making $1 million. Guess what? You're going to pay that whole $1 million out because of how you think and what you putting out there. What you are focused on. You focus on the negative, you're going to keep getting negative situations. You're going to keep getting negative experiences. It's the law. I didn't make it up. It's just like gravity. What goes up comes down. That's the law. What goes around comes around. That's a law. If you sow bad seeds, you're going to reap those bad seeds. It's in the Bible. That's the law. I mean, some of these things is so, it's what they call it common sense, that we fail to realize that we are creators of our own experiences. But yet we still let life happen instead of being intentional about life.
Well spoken. I told you guys she'll go deep. She will go deep. But baby, we've been, how long this show been? What, 40-something minutes? Okay. Oh yeah. But guys, I told you we can go really deep. All jokes aside, we just give you guys another way, like we always do on Lunch Talk with Mike and Star. That's what we do. Another way of thinking, guys. You can always Google what we asking or Google what we're saying or the advice we give. You can Google it, check it out. Hey, hit us up and tell us what you think about it. Hit us up.
So when I have people like straight up tell me that they in bad relationships and they want to know what they can do, I look at it like this. I used to be in a real bad relationship before me and Mike got together. You know, I was in 2 bad relationships, like back to back, before me and Mike got together, right? I had one that was abusive. That was my first husband. And I had the second one that was a cheater, you know. And here's the thing. The first one, I didn't allow it. After 8 months, we were married, and then I filed for divorce. And then the second one, I probably allowed it way longer than I should have because of fear. Fear would keep you in a dead-end relationship that you know is a dead-end relationship. I knew this guy deep in my inner core, my intuition, and we all have it, did not have all the attributes that made me happy, but I settled because of fear. We don't ever like to use the word fear, but when you're settling for somebody and you know you could do better, 9 times out of 10, fear is keeping you there. Either it's financial fear that you can't get somebody else, so you don't want to be lonely fear, or you just don't want to get back out there. You scared to take a chance on somebody else. So, it's all different types of reasons why we stay in things that we know is not serving us for our greater good. And every day it makes us sick on our stomach. So that is your inner compass telling you that, no, this isn't good for you. So if you're stressed out, you got anxiety, if you're depressed, you got all these going on, you got high blood pressure because the person that you're with or the experiences that you're having is making you sick, that is putting your body in a diseased state. So we'll keep allowing that to happen. So when somebody come to me and tell me they're in a bad relationship, I tell them, that's your choice. You are choosing that experience. You are choosing that. So don't complain. If your husband is a piece of crap, or if your wife is a piece of crap that runs all over you, that cheats on you left and right, and if you allow that to keep happening in your life, then what that says about you? You don't feel that you are worthy of better. You attract who you are. So obviously in your body, in your mind, somewhere deep in your mindset, in your inner core, you feel like you are not worthy of better. So that's why you attracting those experiences. That's why you lacking in your finance. That's why you hate your job. That's why you're going through all these different experiences that you don't want to. It makes you sick on your stomach. You get a headache every time it's time for you to get ready to go to work, or every time your husband comes home, or every time your wife comes home. Your whole energy, your whole vibe changes because you are choosing to be in that experience. And your body, when you have stress, when you have depression, when you have anxiety, when you are in a dis-ease state, it is your body telling you that you are not doing what you're supposed to do. That is your inner compass, your navigation system telling you inside your body that you're not doing what will make you happy. Because at the end of the day, God, the universe, wants us happy. And when we override our inner compass that lets us know when we're going in the wrong path, that's a choice. That's the true definition of free will. So when you're thinking negative, when you're inviting these negative experiences, whether it's in relationships, monies, your work, whatever, even with your children, because if a lot of you people like to call your kids bad when they 1 year old and they learning, oh, he just bad, or she just bad. And then older they get, they give you more things to call them bad. Like for real. And then you wonder why your kid gets in trouble all the time at the school, because you call them bad, or you buying them toys that can make them bad. I never bought my son a toy gun when he was little, because I don't want him playing with guns when he get grown. I'm like, for real, come on. So a lot of things that we don't think about, we run around here on autopilot and we just do willy-nilly. And so then we get upset when the things that we have done gives us these negative results. And then we want to be the victim when you're not being conscious and mindful of the energies that you're putting out there. We're not. We just doing all willy-nilly. We want to talk about how we broke, but then we'll take our last $10 and put it on a scratch off when you know your car is on empty right now and you need those $10 for gas to get to work. But you're going to take that chance on the $10 scratch off to see if you're going to get 20. Then when you lose that 10, now you ain't got no gas money. So now you got to go borrow some money, and then you're in a beggar's position, attracting more lack of money in your life. Yeah. See, like my husband said, I could go real deep. I already done got to 50 minutes. I could go really deep. But I'm very passionate about it. That's why. Because I get tired of seeing people I had to even delete my whole Facebook. So if you one of my real life friends, not just my internet friends or lunch talk friends, my real life friends that I've, grown up with, went to school with or whatever, whatnot, I got a whole new Facebook because of that. Because I got tired of seeing people putting their life out there on display in a negative way. And the woe is me all the time. I had to really, instead of unfriending people, I just got a whole new page because of that. Because as long as you keep talking about it, you're going to keep experiencing it. One day you're going to wake up and say, hey, I'm sick of this. It's time to change. I'm sick of having this messed up relationship. I'm sick of thinking about this person this way. If I can't think about this person in a positive way, then I don't need this person in my life. If you can't see a person in a positive light, period, ain't nothing about them that's good, then you need to get rid of them. They don't belong in your experience anymore. And I'm done.
Okay.
I'll let you talk now.
No, I was just letting you have your moment. You just keep going. But as you can, like I said, guys,
I'm very passionate about this.
She gets deep. She gets deep. But now, babe, hey, you pretty much summed it up in a nutshell. I mean, good stuff, deep, another way of thinking, But hey, like I say, let's talk with the Carter. Just what we do, another way of thinking.
Yep.
Got anything else, honey?
No, because it'll be going into an hour if I keep talking. But just these three things, guys, Remember, every energy flows where your attention goes. So if you are constantly putting your attention on negative things, whether that's about your money, about your job, about your relationships, just know those things will not change until the things you think about change. Once you start thinking in a positive way, there's a saying that says, when your thoughts change, the things around you about those things will change. So that's just like if you hate your boss, start just trying to do things nice for them. Because like I said, it's hard for a person to be just mean and nasty to somebody that's being nice to them. It really is hard, unless that person is really a miserable person. Like, you got to be a real miserable butthole for somebody to do a nice gesture to you and you piss on it, Because especially at this job, it's the only thing that you feel like you can do. You don't feel like you could get a job anywhere else, or you don't feel like you can create a job doing what you love. So if you feel like you tied to this job, you can't go there being miserable every day, because that miserableness is going to spill over into every experience that you have. Your relationships, because if you're mad at work, you're going to come home mad. You're going to come home with that negative energy. So we have to try to change those things. Try to change that energy so that you are not creating and attracting the things that you don't want. So the other principle is you are who you attract. So be that person, be that loving, kind person that you want in your life. Be everything that you want and not focus on what you don't want. And also remember that you have the choice to allow people into your experience. You don't have to be bothered with anybody if you don't want to. Stop letting people think, or you stop feeling like you're the victim and you got to put up with what people dish out to you. You are in control. Be intentional about your life. Be on purpose. Have the on purpose life. Everything you do is on purpose for the greater good of you. And there's nothing wrong with self-perseverance. You're supposed to take care of yourself, because if you're jacked, you can't give to somebody else if you're jacked up. You can't get love if you don't love yourself. If you don't have love for everything about you, you can't portray that love to somebody else. So start with yourself. Start with taking care of yourself. Start loving on yourself. And then you can spread that love to other people. Then you won't think everything about everybody is negative. When you love, it'll change how you feel.
All right, guys. There you have it. There you have it. There you have it for my baby. There you got it.
Another 5 minutes.
Hey, when you get to going, I just sit back and let you have the wheel. I just let you have it, baby. But like I said, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, thanks again for tuning in to Mike and Star, which I felt like it would just start as Tucker Mike just. But he know how I am. I'm so passionate about this, guys, because I did the work. I've been on both ends of the spectrum, and this is what I am truly passionate about: is changing the way you think. Changing the way you think so that you can create the experiences that you really want. You are living the intentional life. Live your life intentionally. All right. So thanks again for tuning in to Lunch Talk with Mike and Star. Had to think about it because I always want to say the Carters. But thanks for tuning in. We are the Carters, but like I said, we have another set and we don't want them suing us, especially since they are billionaires now. So with that being said, thanks again. You know, you guys can check us out on Spotify, on Google Play, iTunes, iHeartRadio. You can listen to the audio on YouTube. If you're a YouTube listener, make sure you subscribe, like, share, do all those good things, because we really want to bring you guys some knowledge this year, this summer. This summer is going to be the summer of knowledge, put it like that, because we want you guys to win, not just me, my husband. We want you to win. And we want you to live a life like you have never lived before. So all your other 20, 30, 40 years that your life wasn't, or 50 years or 60 years, we don't know what the age demographic is on our listeners. But here's the thing. If you're not where you want to be at right now in your life, let's make a conscious decision today to change those aspects for the better.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So y'all have a great and wonderful weekend.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.